getting ready. Kind of forgot myself that I got to take the glass out before I put the metal on. And I started to prep the metal by sanding it down here. And when I got to this one, I realized I need to get the glass out first. So I stopped on the sanding. Got a fan here because the rubber is just basically going to be melting and burning when I cut, and I want to get all the nasty fumes away from it. I got my face shield, my gloves, got earplugs in, and I set up my router with my cutoff wheel, and I've got the depth set so I can rub the router, rest the router, okay, on this surface right there. And it just allows me to keep that center nut from hitting the glass. So with some luck, I won't scratch up the glass. And we're going to be standing way clear of the radius of this guy, because this turns at 27,500 RPM. And these discs are rated for 22,500 RPM. And at that speed, when one of these things comes apart, it's pretty violent. I've had it happen before. As long as you stay clear, you won't get hurt. So that's the plan. We're going to give this a shot. If it works, we'll have that glass out lickety split. If I see that I'm having success cutting it here, I'll take on the other side, and I'll take a piece of wood and clamp it across here so the glass can't fall out. All right, now if this gives me too much trouble, the glass is just going to stay in. All right, we're not making headway. I forgot this router's variable speed, so I turned the speed down to what I felt was a comfortable speed to be within the limits of these guys, and it was too much load. I think it was just really, well, that was a used wheel. I'm going to try one more time. I think it's just getting too hot because it's just smoking like crazy over here, burning this stuff. This is just not the right tool for the job, really, is what the case is. I think the right tool, excuse me, might be one of those reciprocating end cutting tools. They don't move that fast, and you can get something with a toothed blade on it. I just don't feel like spending whatever, $100 or $200 on one of those things. I got enough stuff. So if I can't make progress with another wheel, a new wheel, I'm just going to leave the glass in. Okay, I got some good news. I turned the speed down on this a little bit more. Boy, I'm glad I got the variable speed model on this thing. By the way, this is a fine router. This is, I can't imagine you getting a better model router than this. I bought the whole kit. It's got the standard base. Let me introduce you to it. It's got the plunge the plunge base here, which has got this depth deal lock screw. There's springs in this, so you can lower down. It came with the 2 wrenches. The new model here has a really large diameter collet that uses large size wrenches. There's 2 of these, and I can't imagine a finer router than this. I've got a few of them. I guess I'll show you the other one I got. I inherited one similar to that from my father. So this guy here is probably 80 years old. 50 to 80 years old, I guess. My father had this mounted in a box that he made upside down, so it would look like this, and he used it as a router table for years, and it was so badly abused, it got so hot that this plastic thing got distorted from the heat. And in my elder years, I don't know, elder, that's not the right term. I guess this was about 10 years ago. I guess I was in my late 40s. I finally got the ambition to pull this thing off the shelf. I completely disassembled it, cleaned it, re-greased the bearings. I used the original bearings over again. They were still fine. Blew out all the dust. And the insides of this thing is like new. I have it mounted to this piece of aluminum plate for a project when I was building my telescope. This is a little diversion here, sorry about that. Alright. So this bolts down with these 4 screws onto here. Those holes didn't originally exist in this vise. I drilled those holes in and threaded them. And with this bolted to here, we're very, very close to being perfectly flat. And now what that gives me is a spinning router bit that allows me, I use it for woodwork. On this machine, I devised arbor in this to hold a very large, it was like 2-foot diameter piece of wood, and I put this machine on at a super slow pace, and with it spinning I had the running router bit in here trim and make a nice round, perfectly round disc. Yes, I know there's other ways of doing it, but that's the way I chose to do it. When you look at here, you can see this inner collet, which I foolishly broke right there by tightening it with nothing in it. But it still works fine. It's hardened steel. And once you put a bit in there and tighten it up, everything kind of lines itself up, and it'll squeeze down on your bit perfectly fine. But really what I wanted to show you is this is like, I don't know, a 5/8 diameter wrench, and then you got to use like a 3/4 wrench down in there on that. They improved that on the new one. It's just like, Jesus, 1 1/8" diameter wrenches that you use. And the collet is designed with a clip. It holds into the nut right here. And I believe I've got 2 collets, the 1/4 inch diameter and the 1/2 inch diameter collet. I'm just taking a little time here to share that with you because I couldn't be happier with that tool. Where's the 1/2 inch one? Oh, there it is. See how it's got the snap ring there? It holds the collet into the nut. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. that go in there? Yeah, I guess it does. So back to this. We're making progress. I turned the speed down, and I made a light cut, and I made quite a bit of progress, a few inches here, very quickly and easily. But I'm getting so much smoke. I was holding my breath, waiting, for the fan to blow it away. So I decided to get a respirator and do it right and be safe, so I don't have to breathe all that nasty stuff, because who knows how toxic that could be, right? So let me put the safety equipment back on and give this another shot. All right, we ate another blade, but we're making progress. So we're mostly cut through the entire bottom here. I'm going to take a look on the other side, see how much went through. Just a little bit has gone through, but I'm finding that I'm hitting these rivets that are the heads on the other side of these rivets. I can't get any closer to the glass. I'm already scratching it every once in a while. But with the router at its lowest speed and going really easy on it, it's actually working. I should try putting some water, soaking this with water. Maybe that'll cool the blade. Because I'm convinced it's the heat that's just destroying the blade. I had a bit of an epiphany. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. I took my razor knife and I trimmed off the excess that was bulging out, so I have less to cut. As you can see right here, I haven't removed it all yet on that spot, so that'll be a helper. It's time for me to put that piece of wood across the back with clamps, because it won't be long before this starts to come loose. It's nowhere near being loose right now, but I'm going to keep on trying. Okay, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and this win goes to the bus. The window is staying in. I gave it my best shot. I cut out as much of the sealer adhesive stuff as I could. I tried with the router. I just don't have the right tools, equipment to do this, and I'm putting myself at risk for an injury, which I do not want to do. It's just not worth it. So that's that. So where we are right now is I wipe this down with isopropyl alcohol. I like isopropyl because it's not very toxic stuff, and it cleans things well, and it evaporates quickly and cleanly. So all that's been wiped. After I wiped it, I sanded it down, then I wiped it with alcohol again. Back here, I've prepped the metal by sanding with this to make sure that we have a good bite on this galvanized with the Gorilla adhesive. So all these are ready to go. Next step is going to be using that stuff, which I think is fabulous. I have about a quarter of a tube here, which I don't think will be enough, but I got another brand new tube here. So we're good to go with that. I got my paper towels. I've got my mineral spirits. Where the heck is my mineral spirits? Here's my mineral spirits. For cleaning up. Okay. Got my screw gun. Got my screws. Got the love of my life out there cleaning her car. And so I've been each time using this thing, just cleaning out this tip. So I thought I'd share with you how I do that. What's nice about these Gorilla adhesives, this thing unscrews. So I take a coat hanger, see if I still have it over here by the garbage. Yep. I use this coat hanger and I push in the little hard piece that varies in size depending on how long this has sat since the last time I used it. And once I push it in, this is removed, okay? I'm holding this in one hand, the coat hanger in the other hand, and I push this in the nozzle and swirl it around as I push it in, and it wipes out the whole inside of this thing. Most of it'll be not hardened up, and then you just keep on going until you see the little hard nub in there, and you're ready to go for the next use. So we're going to go ahead and put these things on, and the next time I come back to you, you're going to see all three of those pieces attached and wiped down. Most likely I'll just go ahead and go all the way through the wipe down, and that'll be another job well done. Huh? Not bad, huh? So the way I do this is I put a healthy bead of the adhesive right on the screw hole line. Probably like a 1/4 inch bead, I guess you'd call it. And when I attach this, I'll get like one screw in it to get it lined up and press it tight, and the adhesive starts to poke through the holes, which I like because I like to get adhesive under the screw head. So anywhere that sufficient adhesive doesn't pop through the hole, there's ooze out around here, I'll just wipe the screw on that, and so under every screw head there's adhesive. I don't know how important that is, but it's easy enough to do. And so there you go, man. I think it looks great. Looks more like an RV all the time. Huh? So now I gotta think. I can't work on the underneath side here because that's still wet. I need to give that a couple days. I clean wire brush and OSPO disc brace. So that's we got new neighbors. Alright, so there's nothing I can do here. This is all done. I could hook some wiring to this compressor. There's a wire, well actually I'm using it. I bought this extension cord. It's cheaper to buy an extension cord than it is to buy wire by the foot. By like a lot of difference. I got this extension cord at Walmart. It's like 50 cents a foot. It's like $1 a foot to buy the wire for the same gauge. I don't get it, man. So along with the Freon lines, there needs to be the power and control wire that feeds the evaporator unit inside. And there also needs to be a wire where 120 volts comes this way and supplies power to that, or both units actually, I guess. So this is 14 gauge wire, and that's the same size wire that came with the unit in a 6-foot piece. Now we're putting a 25-foot piece. I was a little concerned about the voltage drop over 25 feet, but when I started thinking about it, the amount of power we're talking about is minuscule. It's just the fan up there. And I figured out that the inside unit runs on DC voltage, I'm quite certain. And it's a 3-wire conductor. So you got a positive and negative DC voltage going to run the fan and the electronics in the evaporator unit. And then the 3rd wire is a control circuit that sends power down here to tell this thing to turn on. Pretty sure that's how it works. So yeah, I bought this 50-foot extension cord with the intent of running 2 lengths of it. But I might upgrade to a 12 gauge for the power supply on this. Between here and in the back where my breaker panel is going to be. So this here, oh, I could spray undercoating on this stuff. That's ready for more undercoating, and that needs a little bit more. And I OSFO'd my air tanks because they were rusting. Now they're completely black. So my intention was to undercoat them as well. Oh man, what else can we do? Kind of running out of stuff here. I can't put the box on yet. I can clean this up. Clean this glue off. Stick some rivets in these holes. I'll just wait until I get getting ready to put it back together, I guess. So, yeah, there's nothing really left to do on this side. I think the other side is the same. Come around here. Guess I could touch that up. I've OSFO'd it a while back. Yeah. This and the rear door. Can work on the rear door. All right.